Hello and welcome back to Beautiful Journey. If you're new here, my name is Tina and I am glad that you decided to spend a little time with me today. So today I created this cool gray shimmery look with the Colourpop's Stone Cold Fox palette. If you'd like to see how I created the look, along with some choices that you might use to create a similar look if you don't have the Stone Cold Fox palette, then please keep watching. I already have my face done. I'm going to insert a picture of everything that I have on my face so far. I did my skincare and sunscreen and then all of my base products and complexion products. So anyway, I'm going to go straight to the eyes. Brows are already done and everything, and I have my eyes primed with the e.l.f. Putty Eye Primer. Okay, I've scooched y'all in just a little bit more here so you can see what's going on. And today I'm going to use my Stone Cold Fox from Colourpop. And it is just this huge neutral palette. It's so pretty, and it was a gift from a friend. Thank you, Melissa. And I'm going to use some of these taupes in here to get kind of a cool neutral look with a little bit of silver in there. So what makes a cool look versus a warm look has to do with color theory and cool and warm tones, but I like to think about it as cool tends to be the colors of winter, icy, snow, blues, that kind of thing, those sorts of undertones, whereas warm tones tend to be the color of what it says, warmth, fire, oranges, reds, that sort of thing. So if you're going to do a cool look and you're looking for a cool brown, you want a brown that has undertones of gray and taupe versus these that have more of like an orangey undertone to them. So you can see these two are really good examples of a cool brown versus a warmer brown, okay? And then you get a cool, deeper tone right here versus these warmer, deeper tones here. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's get into this then. So I am first going to go into this light color right here called Luxe, and I am simply going to set my eyes from the crease up to the brow bone and lighten that area up. This I do to make it easier to blend that crease color. Okay, so I turned the lights down a little bit. It seemed really bright, so I'm sorry if that was a little off there. I'm going to use U Rock, which is that cooler brown, almost taupey gray color. And I have a Morphe, I can't read the number, it's too low, that I received from Sylvia. Thank you, Sylvia. And I'm going to just start putting that in the crease and a little above. Can you hear the calf bawling outside? I don't know if the microphone will pick it up or not, but there's a little calf looking for his mama out there. Since my intention for this series, The Eyes Have It, is to be quick videos that you can look for and just go through when you're looking for an eye look, I'm only going to show you one eye and then just do the other eye and edit that out. Okay, so there's one. All right, so I have that color on both eyes. I'm going to use this double-ended Eco Tools brush. It has a smaller fluffy brush on this end and then a really dense kind of shaped brush on this end. So I'm going to use that to deepen up the crease. And I'm going to take this gray color here, which is called Rimmel, and I'm going to go right into the crease with that. And I'm going to apply it with this more packed, dense end to get it where I want it and then blend it out with the other end. So I'm going to put this along the lash line. And I'm going to do this in kind of a sideways V. So it's going there. And then I'm going to take it into the crease as well. And it's going to look a little crazy. I think I've said this before. But it's only part of the process. I'm going to flip my brush over and I'm going to start with patting, pulling, and circling to spread this color out. I only want this on the outer third of my eye and in the outer V. And the intent is to create that upturned lifted look on the outside edge. And then if I need a little more, I'll just flip the brush over and add a little without actually going back into the pan. Okay, so I'm going to do the other side, but you won't see it. Okay, now I'm going back to that first brush that I used, and I'm not adding any product, but I'm going to use that to help blend these edges. And I don't know if you can see, but there's a little bit of fallout right here, and I'll clean that up when I'm done. So I'm just cleaning up the edges. Like I said, not adding any product. Okay, now I'm going to take this silvery shimmer called Magnetic Window on my finger. I'm going to use my ring finger because it's a little bit smaller. And just circle it in there. And I'm going to pat that on the eyelid. And now I want to be a little bit more precise. If I use my finger, then I'm going to get some down in here, and I don't want to do that this time. So I'm going to take this tiny little flat shader brush and go in to that color and just pick up a little and be more precise about placing it there in the inner corner. These shadows apply equally well with either your finger or a flat brush. My daughter's outside the window picking some spaghetti squash, so I just waved to her. I'm going to take my color switch and wipe that off because I want to use the same brush, but first I'm going to clean up that. I have a little bit of concealer on a Q-tip because I was using a brand new, as in just bought it last night, Believe Beauty concealer, and the doe foot fell off before I could put the first little bit of the concealer on my face, which doesn't make me happy, needless to say. So I used a Q-tip and stuck it down in there to get it out, and I will return it later today. I just dabbed a little concealer on both sides, cleaned it up. Even though I've already powdered, it didn't mess anything up. It's fine. I'm going to put a little of that dark grayish color on just the tip of this flat shader brush and run that under the eye. And I did tap that off because it does have some fallout, so I didn't want to get it everywhere. And on a color like this that's dark, I'd much rather build it than go in too hard and not be able to get rid of it. I'm just connecting the under eye to what's happening in the outer V, so there's not a lack of color there. Okay, I am going to take a black liner and line my waterline, my upper waterline, to give some definition to that part of the eye. And so before I go to the other side, I just want to take a second and let you see how the eye looks with the waterline and without, and I just prefer it with. And to do that, I am using the Maybelline Expert Wear in Ebony Black, and it has a little smudger on the back end, so if you wanted to line with this and then smudge, it's all built in. I really like this liner. It does really well in the waterline, doesn't transfer to my lower waterline. So now I'm going to brighten up the lower waterline, and I'm going to use the NYX eye pencil in silver. It's just a regular sharpening eye pencil. So I'm going to just pull down slightly. It's actually really sharp, so I'm going to take down that tip a little bit by rubbing it. I'm just rolling it on my hand. I don't know if you can hear that poor baby out there looking for mama, but he's standing out there in the pasture. And she must be at the pond getting a drink or something. But I have my window open just a little because I put a towel in the upper window because the sun was coming in weird. And then, of course, as soon as I got that all set up, the sun went back behind the clouds. And now I don't need the towel at all because it's just an overcast day, which is wonderful for filming. Okay, so we're going to do some eyeliner. I have this little Kat Von D, and yes, it is still from when it was Kat Von D and not KVD, tattoo liner that I got in an Ipsy a while ago, and it's almost dried out. Probably not going to try to force this very much longer, but I am going to use it today. And I'm just going to do a small line on right at the lash line. I don't want a really thick line. A lot of times I will use a brown eyeliner, but with this brown would look weird. Okay, yeah, that was a struggle on the second side. It didn't want to transfer on there and I had to like close it and open it. And so this is done going in my empties, which by the way, I am going to film soon. I have empties from probably 3 months. So I have quite a few things gathered up and I will film that this week and get that up. Okay, I'm going to curl my eyelashes and I'll be right back. Before I put on my mascara, I'm going to spray my setting spray and I'm going to use the Urban Decay All Nighter. I talked about this in a previous video. I talked about this in my Full Glam Tanya look. If you want to see that video, I'll link it up here in the cards and down below. So as this dries, I'm just going to kind of press it in. And now I am going to put on my mascara and my eyebrow gel. I'm going to use the Essence False Lash Effect, the green one. And just... I'll do a thin coat on each side. Yeah, just touch my nose. Do that every stinking time. Don't try to, if you do that, don't try to clean it up while it's wet. Just leave it there and look ridiculous for a few minutes. And down below, same one. I'm going to do the other side and then come back and do the second coat on this one. Okay, done thin coats on both sides. Going to come back and put a second coat on the first side. I coat the tops of the tips of the lashes a little bit. Get those inner little ones. And then one more light coat on the bottom. And I'll do the second side. Okay, my brush that I always have for cleaning up mascara, I'm just going to use that and kind of flick that away. And this is a pretty good one, so I'm actually going to use my Q-tip, brush it away, and then I still have that little bit of concealer, and I'm just going to dab that over the spot. And it's like it never happened. I will check the rest of my eye and flake away those mascara dots. Okay, last thing I'm going to do, well, not the last thing I'm going to do because I have to do lips still too, but I'm going to put on the Benefit Gimme Brow in, I believe it's 03? No, in 4. And I got this also in an Ipsy. In general, if I have something high-end, it probably came in an Ipsy or I got it on sale. Because I've only bought a couple of things full price, high-end, and I've regretted every one of them. That's not to say that you shouldn't buy high-end makeup. It's just, for me, I have not been happy with the products I've paid that kind of money for. So I have rehearsal tonight for Nutcracker. So I'm going to use my Rimmel Stay Matte, and it's a little funky there because I used a damp sponge one time trying to see what it would do, and it kind of got a little hard pan, so I scraped that off. But anyway, I'm just going to put that across my nose and then up in the T-zone just to stay a little more matte through the day because, like I said, I have rehearsal tonight for Nutcracker, so I will be busy and in the public eye until 9 o'clock tonight. I'm going to do a super simple lip, and I'm just going to put on this bullet from Flower. It's the Naked Blush 020 in the matte formula, and I'm not going to do... I love this color, but I'm not going to do lip liner or anything right now because one of the things that I like to do with these The Eyes Have It videos is to show you other palettes that you could use to create the same look. Now, this turned out a little more silvery and kind of bluish gray than I thought it would. I thought it was going to be a little more taupe, but I'm not mad at it. I mean, I like it. So we'll just try to get more taupe another time. So let me dig out some palettes that I think I could create a similar look with. I don't have as much with these colors in it as some of the other things I have, but that doesn't mean I don't have anything. So I have this Magnifeyes Wow edition, and I think you could do a very similar thing with it. There's a sparkly gray that would certainly give you the lid color. There's a deeper gray that would help with that outer corner. And the only thing you don't really have in here is the mid-tone for the crease color. These are all shimmers. So you might have to dip into another palette for that. Or the Magnifeyes Thunderstorm edition has these colors as well and does include those lighter matte shades. This one's a little bit more mauve-y toned, but you've got the grays down here. So you could get a similar look with this palette. This is the Revolution Reloaded Deep Dive palette. I got this one at TJ Maxx for $3.99, but I think they're only normally about $5 at Walmart. So this one has, again, it doesn't have the mid-tone matte shade for the crease, but it does have the silvery color here and some deeper tones that you could deepen up the outer crease. Wouldn't look exactly the same. This one's going to pull a lot more blue. Another one that you might have is the Colourpop That's Taupe palette. There are similar colors in here to what you have in the large Stone Cold Fox palette. But they do, if you use these down here, they're going to look a little bit more mauve-y, and that's not bad. I mean, if that's what you're going for. So we've got, this is similar to the color that I used in the crease. You don't have that really light color that I used to set the crease to brow bone, but if you have Wet n Wild's Brulee, that'll do it. And then here is a shimmer that's similar to what I used on the mobile lid. So this is one of my newer palettes. I wanted to try Sheglam. This is the Deep Feelings eyeshadow palette, and you can see it is very cool toned and has that grayish matte like I used in the crease, and then a deeper matte to deepen up the outer V. It does have a little bit of more browns where you could get a little more taupe color. So you could get that silver sheen here, and there's even a deeper one if you wanted to do a deeper sparkle on the outside, a deeper shimmer on the outside and the lighter one on the inside. You could do it with that. The only other thing I think I have that I could do something similar with is this small Wet n Wild palette. This is one of the older Wet n Wild Icon palettes, and it is in Tunnel Vision. I actually haven't really used this one very much, but it has all of these colors that I used to create this grayish silver look in there. So as you can see, you don't have to use the palette that I used in order to get the look that I got. And if you recreate this look with something that you use, I'd love to hear what you used. Also, if you would like to see my closet changeover filmed, let me know that down below. I'm getting ready to do that in the next couple of days. I swap out my warm weather clothes for cool weather clothes because they don't all fit in my closet at the same time. And when I do that, I always do a declutter. The other interesting aspect to this is that since I put those clothes away, I have lost almost 25 pounds. So there's the potential that a lot of the things that I put away won't fit me anymore. So I'm going to have to see where I'm at with clothes and if I need to do some shopping. I always declutter when I do this process. I hang all my hangers backwards when I first put them in at the beginning of a season, and anything that is still backwards at the end of the season is a prime suspect for the giveaway bag. It has to have a really good reason that it's still there. Maybe it's a special occasion outfit or something like that that I don't wear that often, and then it gets to stay. But if it's just something that I didn't like and therefore I didn't reach for it, I get rid of it. So anyway, if you want to see that process, let me know. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, please hit that subscribe button and then give me a like. That tells YouTube that you liked this video and it will recommend it to other people. And then hit the notification bell and select all so that you won't miss any of the content that I upload. Thanks for spending some time with me, and I will see you in the next video. Bye! And today's input stays, or the Magnifeyes Thunder Eyes edition the Magnify, and also hit that notification bell so that you'll be and then hit that notification bell, and then hit that notification bell and select all, so that you'll be notified of all the content that I upload every time why is this so hard?